Welcome to Authentic with Brazil 201. I'm your host, Brazil 201, future Golden Globe nominee. And on today's episode of the podcast, we are going to talk about the disaster that was And Just Like That. Just like the Gossip Girl reboot, I don't know what the fuck happened in the creation of the show, but the show has finally been put to bed. It aired its series finale tonight, and boy, I didn't even realize it was a series finale. Like I knew the show was canceled and everything, but this just played like an awful episode. And look, I loved Sex in the City. I loved the original show. It's that show is the reason we have Entourage, which was just the male version of Sex in the City, and it's really interesting to watch because like when Sex in the City came out, the girls were supposed to be 31, 30, right? And now they're in their golden years, and this show was just like a disaster because every this show and the Gossip Girl reboot were a perfect example of, I want to say, the quote unquote the woke problem, because these shows were just made with all the worst stereotypes like combined, because everything felt horribly forced. Like the taking on the new ideas of sex and gender and aging and love is great angle for a reboot, but everything was like so forced. Like there's nothing wrong with the fact that the three women, by the way, because you don't make tons more friends as you get older, right? We saw these women for about a decade, right? And I understand the real life beef between the actress who plays Samantha and Sarah Jessica Parker. I understand that, but let's ignore that aspect and let's the Miranda Charlotte and Carrie of it all. Is that realistically they wouldn't have gotten new friends in their mid to late 50s. The friends you have in your 30s and your late 20s are probably the friends you're going to have your entire life. There was nothing wrong that three rich white women were only friends with three rich white women with each other. There isn't anything wrong with that. And this nonsense of we have to answer to quote unquote the woke Greenpoint fans because of the fucking showgirls was idiotic. So I want to go through 15 of the worst things that have come from this reboot before, by the way, this awful series finale. Okay, and one, the how it began, the Peloton death. If you forgot about this, episode one opens with Big dying mid Peloton ride, and the only reason this happens is because Charlotte forces Carrie to go to Lincoln Center to watch her daughter perform, when in reality she wanted to go to the Hamptons with Big. And Carrie is right that if they go to the Hamptons, he probably doesn't die. So yes, this is Charlotte's fault that Big died. And also it caused weird Peloton real world PR nightmares, and then suddenly he got the actor who played Mr. Big suddenly got Me Too'd for whatever reason because you know, whatever. And then we have Charlotte's progressive parent plot. This annoyed me because the whole purpose of the original Sex in the City, right? If you forgot, Charlotte had trouble conceiving, so they adopted the Asian kid, right? And if they were gonna do the fucking plot line where like I guess one of the kids has to be gay or non-binary or whatever fucking bullshit because the show had to hit all the woke bingo check marks, why did they make the biological daughter this? Because it really felt like punishing Charlotte. Because Charlotte's whole thing in the original Sex in the City was that she wanted a daughter, a real daughter, her daughter that she birthed. And they do this thing where Rose is like, I'm non-binary and my name is now Brock, and it was just a clumsy like look at us being woke writing, we're gonna add a non-binary character to the show, right? And Charlotte then becomes this most annoyingly cringe exaggerated ally feel, and it feels so cartoonish, right? Three, Miranda's crisis and then everything to do with Che. Now Che is by far the worst fucking character to be ever introduced in television. I wanted that fucking bitch to get hit by a fucking train so badly. Okay? And I'm glad she was not in season 3. But that character existing and becoming a fucking focal point of the show was idiotic. Because Sex in the City is about Carrie, Miranda, and Charlotte. And I fucking hate Miranda. But fine, whatever. It's about the three of them. But suddenly, they all got new fucking black or Hispanic friends out of nowhere, and the main three girls are not even friends with each other anymore. Suddenly in their mid-50s, right? Miranda finally like falls fucking in love with fucking Che. Che is smug, she's unfunny, and somehow she's treated as if she's fucking Anthony Jeselnik nickel like bullshit. And then Miranda dumps Steve in like the most humiliating, messy way. And also, Miranda's just getting fucking plowed and eaten out in Carrie's new fucking apartment for whatever reason, like mad disrespectful. Then let's go to number 4, the Che Diaz problem. Che is the most disliked character I think ever to exist in television. She's self absorbed, constantly interrupting, and never fucking funny. She reads like the most cringy DSA lesbian overweight character. First of all, they gave her all the stereotypes of a fucking Brooklyn Bushwick person: the shaved head, overweight, the nose piercing. Fucking awful. 5, Carrie's podcast era. Now, realistically, I mean, when the reboot came back, it was pre Substack, but so they try to be like, okay, maybe Carrie would be basically an older version of fucking Alex Cooper. So she co-hosts a sex talk podcast, but apparently she can't say vagina without blushing. She's wildly unbelievable as someone who apparently built her career writing about sex. The podcast scenes are totally awkward and unrealistic, which is crazy because Bobby from the Bad Friends podcast is in season 1. And I don't know if their podcast was out at the time, but whatever. 6, the tokenism. It was tokenism overload. Everyone's got a new fucking colored friend. Okay? Seema, Lisa, Todd Wexley, Dr. Nye Wallace. It was like, we got to hit our diversity checklist. They're all barely developed. They're often reduced to delivering a very special episode speeches. Okay? 7, the disrespect to Steve and his stat decline. They reduced him to a half-deaf bumbling punchline, and Once Beloved is now just used as plot fodder for like Miranda's exit. 8, Samantha's absence. I understand the real life fucking issues between it. She moved to London, and text messages. This is very similar to what Grey's Anatomy does with fucking Meredith and what the fuck is fucking Sandra O's character? God, how am I not remembering it? Christina, right? Oh, 9, the Carrie's apartment flip flop, right? She buys this gorgeous new place and then runs back to her old one for nostalgia. Feels like a fan service cop out. 10, the awkward grief humor. Carrie tries on her wedding dress for laughs weeks after Big's death, and then the whiplash between the mourning and the sitcom and the gags. 11. My They are the most tech illiterate boomers ever. Carrie and Miranda act like they've never been on Zoom or seen a text before. They basically reduced them to outdated caricatures as if they're Chuck Schumer. 12, the weird sex scenes. Random explicit moments shot like bad parodies. Fucking the Miranda Shade kitchen hookup was what the fuck? And then Carrie's hip surgery rehab become oddly flirty with her fucking physical therapist. What the fuck was happening? Clothing choices. This was the one thing Sex and the City was always known for. Carrie looks like a fucking she's in a thrift store cosplay. What the fuck is happening? 14. Trying so hard to be now. Crypto bros. Gender neutral bathrooms. Weed edibles. Insta lives. Crammed in like TikTok trend list. Overcorrects into self parody. And then the last thing is, they're not even friends anymore, okay? There's zero believable friendship chemistry left. Each of them now has a new colored sidekick from a diversity checklist. Carrie's with Seema, Miranda's with Che or Naya, Charlotte was with Lisa Todd. We never see them ever hang out anymore, the original 3, which is this. And they magically, by the way, all of them suddenly became friends with them like a week before like we see them in the reboot, like in season 1. So like it's just basically like, oh, this is my new friend, this is my friend I just met at Columbia University as a student. And I'm just like, what is happening here? People in their fucking mid-50s don't make new friends, okay? These women, I would not believe that they were on a TV show together for a fucking decade because there is no chemistry with any of them. And I'm fucking glad the show's canceled. I'm fucking glad the Gossip Girl reboot was canceled because let me tell you, that fucking shaved head fucking woman in the reboot was horrendous, and I do not know whether like she should be the lead. When in reality, the blonde chick who is in We Were Liars, which is a fantastic show, should have been the lead girl in Gossip Girl. But the issue with the Gossip Girl reboot is they also were not friends, unlike the original version of Gossip Girl. So which is why I hope for the fucking One Tree Hill reboot that I assume because they actually do that fucking Brooke and fucking God, how am I forgetting this? Brooke and Peyton still have like the friendship. I understand they're gonna kill. I think Nathan is supposed to be dead in the reboot, right? I believe that's what's supposed to fucking happen, and I can't remember what's supposed to happen in the One Tree Hill thing. But from what I like, that either Nathan's supposed to be dead, or he's like coaching the fucking Lakers, and they live in LA. But whatever, that's the whole point. Anyway, and just like that, it's an awful show. Fuck everyone involved with the show. Oh yeah, they killed that fucking person's dad twice. Fuck this show.